The moment you hear or read the Word of God, faith comes. Faith accompanies the Word of God. Faith is simply the ability to believe the Word of God to the point that you will act like it's true. That's all faith is. We make it into a big mystical thing. It is as if faith is riding on the Word of God, comes with it. The Word of God cannot come without bringing with it the degree of faith that is required to bring that word to pass. Do you understand that? In other words, whatever you hear, faith is available at the moment you hear it to actually put with that word so that you can bring that word to pass. In other words, so it acts in your life. Does this make sense to you? Okay, now, I will admit it will help at times if you nod your head. Right? That way I know you're not just cardboard cutouts. Okay, so now notice, the moment you hear a truth from the Word of God, the power or ability to bring that word to pass is present. The believer must then decide to act upon that word as if it is true to them. So faith is a decision and faith is an action. Now, let me prove this. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 2. For unto us was the gospel preached, as well as unto them. But the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. And so you hear what he said. He said, we heard it, they heard it, but it didn't help them. Notice the word. Remember what we were talking about this morning? Profit, increase, right? Progress. Right here it says the word did not profit them. God expects his word to profit us. The word we hear will profit us in the area that is being talked about, right? Now you can get faith, and there's a reason I'm teaching this today specifically, because God put this stuff together literally supernaturally, the 9 a.m. and the 10 a.m. Because here he says, now watch, it did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. But faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the Word of God. So faith comes by hearing, and you hear. Why? When you act on the Word of God. So until you act on the Word of God, you really can't hear what the Word says. And if you don't do that, then there will be no faith in you. Does that make sense? There's no faith there. So you have to hear it, right? And you have to hear it correctly. But when you hear it correctly, the faith is there. And if you act on it, now faith is an action. Faith is not just a mental agreement. So you hear a word about healing, or about prosperity, or about whatever. You have to, whatever that word you heard, you have to put that into effect. You have to put it into action. When you do, you are mixing faith with the word, and it will profit you. All right? If you do not act on that word you hear, it will not profit you, because faith is the action that causes the word to produce.